Well, it's a rainy day, and I was asked about how I set my grinder up and how I mount it on a bench. First, I'm going to go into the cabin and show you the portable one I've got. Now, this grinder has, it's one of the better, it's the good 32 grinder. It's the one that's got P-O-R-K-E-R-T. Now, those are pretty good grinders if you get that brand. They're made in Germany or, let's see if I can figure out where they're made. Well, I can't even read that. I can't even spell, I can't even read the spelling on it. I don't know. This is one of the best 32 grinders that they make, I think. It's a hand crank. Now, this one's hand crank if you can get this model. It's hand crank, but the problem is finding the 12-inch pulley for it, because trying to go the gear ratio down, it's just too much trouble. But they do make a pulley for this model. I don't know if it was Lim or Cabela's. I seen one on the internet. But the pulley was almost as much as the grinder. It was really expensive. It's like $50 to $75. Now down here, I just lift it up to take the tension off the belt. And then when I want the belt to tension, that little block under there, I don't take it all the way out, but I take and just turn it on the side to where there's enough tension to run this one. And then down here, this thing's heavy and hard to move, so I put some 2x4 sizes underneath the edge of it so I can get my hands under there, because it's hard to pick up when it's laying flat. Plus you've got bolts coming out the bottom that you need to have up in the air. I don't know if you can make out the bolts there, but you need it up in the air a little to keep the bolts from setting down when you want to set it on a bench or something. Alright, the reason that you hinge the motor to where you can lift it up and down is you'll be cleaning this, and you don't want to have to mess with 4 bolts and screws every time you know, like if you make slotted adjusters for it or you bolt it on tight. Plus, with a little bit of an angle to it, it helps keep the thing tight, and it lets it, if the thing's out around a hair, it lets it jump around. But see, well, if you lift up, see, you can lift up and get the pulley off to do your cleaning. But if I was going to build one just of this type just to use, I would get about a 3-foot board and have, you know, 1x10, about 3 foot, and put the 2x4s up like I got them under there to show you for the display. That most of your totes, a lot of your turkey fryers are shallow enough to stick the edge under there. And whichever, if you're going to be working from the right or the left, that take and decide which way the motor's going to be. If it, you know, in other words, if you're going to be working on the right side, the motor goes on the left side, or the other way around, depending on how your counter or your work area is set up. And you know, you fix it up for yourself to work at your place, and then when a buddy borrows it, you know, if his ain't set up, he's just got to work around the workaround. Alright, here's a quick review. Now, if you mount the two 2x4s under it in the way that I've got these sitting under here, not the way I mounted it for mine, that will give you a height that's compatible with most of your totes and food grade meat things. Well, I guess I should have shut that off, but see it'll set right under the edge there. Real nice if you put the 2x2s on each end long ways up. Okay, here's a little showing off of my chuck wagon. I moved the grinder back off the sink, and it's sitting on a 2-foot by 4-foot cutting board. Then I scrapped this in. I got a Kohler deep bowl sink here with a nice spray grinder or sprayer, and that way I can clean up things here when the other chuck wagon is messed up. That's there's another, that's a 2-foot by 5-foot cutting board on top of the commercial thing. It's got it where if you're using it to cut meat, you can pull it out and throw the meat in there. And that's my milker for my goat. And I put the one of the goat stands, I put it inside here. That way when it rains, I don't get wet. I'm drying the goat out right now because I don't think I want to be milking through the middle of the winter. Plus, I can't keep up with drinking all that. Just one goat, and I can't keep up with drinking all the milk myself and all the things I can do. But I got plenty of goat milk. Well, I've got a refrigerator in this unit too, in the chuck wagon or the cabin here. Now there's a quickie. This is one of my hay wagons. The axle broke, so I brought the deck off the hay wagon and mounted it to the back of the cabin, and then I put, well, kind of like a buck pole there. In order to put the stuff on and off without having to get a ladder, I built a little ladder here. That stabilizes it because if you're doing a deer on it, it's got too much weight for just a pole in the ground. I also, this is where when I be processing some of the chickens and the turkeys, I set my scalder down on the ground there. I set the plucker up on the edge here, and then where that chair is, I'll have a little table to do the gutting on the chickens. And there's my natural wood smoker cooker. I just love that thing. But you know, when you go to cook something in it, you're committed to almost a whole day of cooking before you can eat, which means a lot of times if you want to eat at 2 or 3 o'clock in the day, you got to start out before sunup, which kind of sucks because I don't like getting up early, never did. All right, now we're headed into my chuck wagon. This is a portable trailer that I've got set up for butchering and honey extraction, making sausages and different things inside of this one. Okay, it's one hell of a mess in here. I've been extracting the last bit of my honey, and it gets hotter than crap in here, so I got a portable air conditioner, got a dehumidifier to keep the humidity down because this thing is almost airtight. All I got to do is fill the sink with water and it's just all humidity in here. Well, it's kind of hard. Can't get there. I guess I'll back up. Maybe I can. But, well, that's a 10-foot double bowl, deep and shallow on the other end, commercial cooktop. And I got my cream extractor, small refrigerator in here, and there's a nice little counter on the edge that I've got. You can see why I had to go to another, needed more room. That's why I got the cabin. Now, let's see. Oh, sounds like my little buddy's talking to me. I'm gonna lose the heat in a few minutes. Okay, to mount this on the stainless steel table, I had to cut a slot in there for the pulley to go down through the table. Now I also took and brought it up with these are just some one bys to bring it up to height to where that the thing that the meat goes in will conveniently slide under it. Originally the guy had it set up to where that when he was using it, he would let the meat go out on the counter there, and then there's a big old drawer down here, and he would just open this drawer up, this stainless steel drawer. It's almost 2 by 2, and he would throw the meat in there, slide it over in there. But I prefer to set one of these little meat containers or turkey fryers or whatever to catch the meat. Alright, this is the grinder I've got in the chuck wagon. It's a cheap Chinese made in, it came from Tractor Supply, this particular one here. Or Town and Country Tractor Supply, I don't know what is the store where you, they're all over the United States. But now, see, it's got that 12-inch wheel. The reason I grabbed this one, it was quicker and easier to find. I could get set up real quick. I would have tried to order the wheel for the other one, but this one seems to work out good. Most of us, with we're only going to be grinding a couple of times a year, and the amount we're going to grind, a 32 grinder makes it work a whole lot better. Now underneath, I'll show you where it was mounted, how it went about mounting it underneath. Okay, under here, see how I used 2 door hinges. Now there was a piece of angle iron that come up there so that it would mount the center of the table. That's stainless. To the stainless steel tables mounted to that. There was just room enough to get the motor in there, and I guess you can't see it, but there's a, it's hard to see. Anyway, there was just room enough to where the space worked out. A one by plywood with the 2 hinges. Now this thing here, it swings up and down. Now what I do, let me mount it real quick. Well, where'd it go? Okay, see, this is the board. It goes up and down. The weight of it's almost enough, but I got a hole here and a bungee if I need a little more weight to keep it grinding. But now, see, now you can't see the hinges, but I used 4 bolts with butterflies. That way I can easily take this off the grinder and put it away, the grinder off the bench, and put it away for the other work that I do in here. I was doing these little fancy, let the bees make the stuff right in the hive. this summer. You know, the bees put that in the jar right there. There's a pint of it that they actually filled that one with honey. Then I got another one right there they filled with honey. And I'm going to be bottling honey later today after I put this video together. Well, I set my super where the bottle things are right now. Then I can come right, it's right close here. This is where I do the decapping. I put that in the deep bowl, or you know, the deep sink part there. Then in the shallow part, I got me a little pan of water to keep my hands clean, because you get all sticky too dang fast. And then just to my left, I moved the thing over, and I got the extractor there to extract them. Makes it real nice. Plus, in the summertime, the reason I had to get the air, I get in the middle of it and it's 120 degrees in here. Got that there, that thing for 50 bucks. So, hell, it works pretty good. It knocks it down to about 90. That's about all it'll do in the summertime.